Welcome, everybody. Welcome into another episode of the Meme Factory Podcast, the shit show you all tune into for no apparent reason. This evening, we have a guest who I'm going to introduce anyway. It's Matt Odell, in case you can't see him down in the middle left there. Matt is a longtime Bitcoiner and privacy aficionado. Matt, if you could give the folks who maybe don't do Bitcoin Twitter an introduction on who you are and what you do. You're going to steal all three of our viewers. All right. I think for anybody paying attention, we did a pretty decent job of doing all the Matt Odell links down in the show notes. So if you scroll down there, you take a look at all of his pertinent links. Now, it is. Now, Matt, if you're such a fan of the show like you say you are, you know what's coming next.
You don't actually send the ad read.
Hell no. But it's in your. He had a tough time. They can't hear him? But they can hear the rest of us?
It doesn't make sense because you can hear me.
Hang on.
Their test streams
Is
All right, well,
Talk-
Greg
they can
doesn't
only hear Greg, nobody else.
All right.
Oh,
I think I fixed
yeah,
it. Then.
that's
I think I fixed it.
testing. Can you guys hear us now?
Yeah.
My producer just let me know.
Don't stop.
Fuck you, Greg.
Sorry, everybody.
Wait, Greg, you fucked it up?
Are you surprised?
Fuck you, Greg.
potatoed it.
oh, well, I guess we do the intro again.
I hate double
Greg.
intros.
All right. So
Oh, okay. Well, they didn't get the first one.
Hold on,
Yeah,
let's make
it's
sure.
not a-
Okay, let's do the intro again. I'm down.
it's not an intro.
Well, they heard Greg.
Yeah.
They need your intro, Matt.
Oh,
Bottle pop.
Oh, you didn't hear my. That means they didn't hear my bottle pop.
Nope. There it is.
Yep, now it's working.
I gave you guys the bottle pop earlier, but now we're
Got
repeating
that
it.
time.
I like Bitcoin. I have 2 podcasts: Rabbit Hole Recap, Citadel Dispatch, weekly shows that compete with this show. It's so weird just repeating it a second time. So you should consider listening to that. You can search it in your favorite podcast app. And I like Bitcoin a lot, so I've just been doing a bunch of different things in the space. Big focus on funding open source development. I've been advising Bitcoin Magazine. I recently launched BitcoinTV.com, which is the best place to watch this show.
Yes, it is.
You guys are one of the hottest channels we have on BitcoinTV.com.
Thank you.
So your listeners should consider going over there when they rewatch.
Absolutely.
And thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be on the show. I think I said this the first time. I think I've said this for like 4 or 5 times, and Greg can just go fuck himself. I don't want to keep repeating it. But
right.
thank you. I've been looking forward. I've been looking forward to ripping it with you guys.
All right, man. Dude, we're so happy to have you. Now, if you could do us all a favor and introduce yourself to the listeners, for anybody who might not know who you are, that'd be fantastic.
Fuck you, Greg.
Now, Matt, since you're such a big fan of the show, you definitely know what's coming next. Do you have your DMs open?
No, I blocked you before the show started, so I didn't have to do the ad read.
That was smart. But it's in your inbox if you want to take a crack at that sucker, so we can continue the podcast and get paid.
Okay, I've been looking forward to this. What is up, freaks? It's your boy, Maddie. Tiki! As all of you should know by this point, I am an advocate of personal privacy, especially for Bitcoiners. That's why I'd like to introduce you to the company that has taken care of my personal privacy for over a decade now, Suscorp. Suscorp has been instrumental in keeping my identity and face safe from exposure to the web. In a few simple steps, I uploaded my seed phrases, address, social security information, and pictures of myself to their cloud storage system, where I don't have to worry about being responsible to store that data myself. My data now sits in a verifiable Fort Knox siloed in the same database of thousands of other Bitcoiners just like me. They also have awesome marketing. Since I joined them, they haven't sent me a single spam email, nothing. And my Bitcoin is so secured with their patented 203 multisig where I only need to hold one of the keys. Sign up today with promo code KYCMeDaddy for 6.9% off of your annual subscription, and check them out on Twitter at corp_sus for more info. Cheers.
Bravo.
Sign me
Thank
up.
you so much.
Hey, bravo.
That got us 800 sats, Matt. So thank you.
Fuck yeah, I'm glad to keep the show going.
That
We
doubled.
don't pay.
Another one.
That doubled our normal, didn't it? Or we usually get like 400 from them.
We're
I
killing it,
renegotiated.
man. We're killing it.
Nice.
We're stacking that sats.
Absolutely. All right, so Matt, I gotta know, man, and you may not be able to answer this question, but when I was looking to do the links for the show notes on your site, what's the canary about?
Do you know what a warrant canary is?
Yeah, but the viewers may not. Go ahead, tell them.
So like a warrant canary is like a company will have a portion of their website and it will constantly be updated. And they'll say like, as of this date, we haven't gotten a warrant for your personal information. And the reason that exists is because a lot of times when a government will ask that company for information, they'll also serve them a gag order that says they can't tell anyone that they gave that information up. So if that warrant canary, if they remove that warrant canary, it's not like they're really telling people, they're just removing something that they had up already instead of putting something up. So if you see, so some companies will have warrant canaries up, and if you remove that, then you know there's something fucked up. Now I was like, I'm not a company, and I was just like kind of lazy about it. So I don't date them. Like you're supposed to like really update it and date it. But mine just says like, if I remove this, like some shit is going down that I can't talk about. And yeah, that's why it's there.
Now, was that an idea that Suscorp gave you, or did you come up with that on your own?
Yeah, the Suscorp consultants told me that was best practice, and I should do that.
Heard they're very, very capable. Yeah.
Incredibly capable.
They
Yeah,
can also
I'm
manage
proud
the
of you guys
canary.
for finding such a good sponsor.
They can also manage the canary for you.
They can
Yeah, they can manage your canary.
All right, man. So the real question I've got for you is, why are you still here?
Like in the show or like in the Bitcoin space?
In the Bitcoin space, what are you doing? What are you doing here? Just go relax. Go ahead.
I'm fucking addicted.
I know.
I can't help myself. I'm just trying to stack as many sets as possible.
Oh, come on.
That's side hustle.
And
I've heard Matt talk about side hustle.
I definitely do not have enough sats. And I love it. You know, like what? I'm going to be working somewhere. I'm going to be doing some kind of work. Like, I don't know. Like the only person who figured out a better cheat code than me is fucking you, Greg, because you literally get paid to meme. Like, it's just fucking ridiculous. But you know, I love it. It's good work.
Shitty watermarks for the win.
It's for a good cause too. And we can get rich in the process. Why the
So
fuck
since
not?
since your hands are in so many projects and stuff, I mean, I hate to make you pick favorites, but what's your favorite thing? Is it the podcast you're part of? Is it mentoring us young bucks like myself?
I really like the education elements, which is like why I launched Dispatch in the first place. I mean, Dispatch has, you know, no sponsors, no ads, unlike this show, which is still ad funded, and it's 100% audience funded, and it's supposed to be. To me, it was like the best bang. I try to make the best bang for your buck in terms of education, because like what I learned is if you try and educate everybody, it's, it's not really scalable. It's hard to reach that many people. And people need like more of a personal touch. But if you like educate a smaller subset and then they go out and help, 10, 15, 20 people, then it scales really well. So Citadel Dispatch has been, a fantastic, it feels good to do it. I enjoy doing it. OpenSats, funding open source development is obviously really rewarding as well. And I'm excited about that. But I mean, we haven't, in terms of execution, it's been the exact opposite of Citadel Dispatch. Like Citadel Dispatch, I just hit the ground running. With OpenSats, like we're just caught up in all this organizational mess, but hopefully we should be up soon and getting much needed money to developers.
Citadel Dispatch is the best for me. Like I really like listening to something like when you had Craig Raw on and he was talking about his product, and then like almost immediately I went and downloaded Sparrow Wallet and did the GPG stuff. Like that's not stuff that I would have done without listening to Citadel Dispatch. So I appreciate it.
Cheers to that.
If you couldn't tell, Pedro is the one who runs all of our wallets here.
Yeah.
Him and Suscorp.
He's
He
our
has all the
Suscorp.
seats.
Yeah.
I'm the CEO of Suscorp.
No, but for real, he keeps the meme factory functional.
Let's fucking go.
I also really appreciate that. Like to me, you're one of the best Bitcoin critics that are out there, and you're actually a Bitcoiner. So like that there's no really, I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way to have like somebody who's actual a Bitcoiner that knows all about it or a lot about it, I should say, and has no issue calling stuff out when he hears it. So I really appreciate that too.
I appreciate that. I'm just trying to learn. And like, if I don't understand something, then I'm going to try and figure it out. And that's basically been my strategy.
So tell us how much hash power is in China still.
I don't know. It's anybody's guess. I think we like dodged a bullet. It seemed like they didn't actually want to attack for a little bit while there when the hash collapsed like 50%. I thought it could be an attack. It's so funny, like Bitcoin Twitter, like if you say anything like even a little bit critical, like there are so many sensitive souls out there. It's like, fucking, I'm the most bullish person ever. Like I don't need to preface every statement I say with, Bitcoin's designed to pump forever. I'm extremely fucking bullish. And then here this could be in concern. But like that Chinese stuff, when they banned the mining, like I was kind of concerned. That's exactly what a state attack would look like. It's all estimates in terms of how much hash actually migrated out of China into the other countries. Texas is absolutely blowing up. Like I've seen it firsthand, like the amount of like tons of hash are going into Texas. But I don't know how to put that in perspective. So my guess is like, I don't know, like 20%, 30% of the hash is still probably in China.
Really?
I find it hard to believe that like right before it was like 50-ish, 60-ish. So like all of it's not going to leave. Like people grew weed when it was illegal.
Fair enough.
They're hustlers. They're not, they pay off politicians and shit.
I was thinking about that too. Like if, say the United States government came out and said, they banned Bitcoin mining in the United States, there would still be a lot of people mining Bitcoin just in their homes. There wouldn't, like, obviously the big, huge companies that are publicly traded would have to shut down. But like a lot of these people who just do it, they would keep mining their Bitcoin and just keep on low.
Exactly. Like we would fucking laugh if someone said, like, if America banned Bitcoin mining and then some foreigner said to us, oh yeah, you guys have no Bitcoin mining over there anymore. Like we would laugh in their fucking face. Like it would be a complete assumption that there was still mining going on.
Come and take it.
I didn't even think about that.
So,
Yes, Yellow?
nah.
Why did you kill Puppy Cell? Where is Puppy Cell? That was a sad story when I read that tweet.
I don't remember what I did with Puppy Cell. I think I disassembled it and broke it up into pieces. I mean, I have a lot of dead hardware wallets. Like my drawers are littered with dead hardware wallets. Puppy Sale was I felt like out of an abundance of paranoia, like I opened it up and did everything on camera. That was like the last hardware wallet I ever wanted to use again. So I got rid of it. And then I regretted it because I could have just kept using it for tutorials. It was stupid. Puppy sale could have lived on. What's really funny about that is, so like I showed the seed in that tutorial video, and actually it took three cold cards to make that tutorial video. Because in my mind, I was like, I've never seen a tutorial video where they just go through all in one cut with no edits. And now I know why, is because it's fucking stupid. Like you shouldn't try and do that. But I did it, I had to open the cold card up on screen. So I had to go through three of them before I got to the puppy sale was the third one. But I showed the seed in the process. I wrote down the seed and I like put a little bit of money in it. And like the first person to recover the seed got those sats.
How long did it take?
It was like super quick, but maybe like a half an hour, 45 minutes. But this is the funny part. The funny part is some freak watched the video and accidentally sent Bitcoin to that address instead of his own. I don't know how it happened, but he sent Bitcoin to that address instead of his own.
Oh, no.
And he was able to get it back by putting in the seed words and got it back. he reached out to me. He's like, Matt, can you send this money back to me? And I was like, the seed is in the video, man. You got to go and fucking recover it.
You fucked it up. Fix it.
But he got extra practice that day, so that helps.
Yeah, it's definitely something I would do.
Yeah. So speaking of wallets, the last Citadel dispatch, you guys went into some deep technical stuff that we don't want to do here for us dummies. But you did mention a lot of history because a lot of us weren't, a lot of class of 2017, 18 here. So we weren't there for the old wallet times. I just want to hear maybe a quick story about like the worst wallet there was, or was it a total scam, or if you have any cool stories about the past and when wallets were first coming out.
There was a wallet, I think it was called Rush Wallet, that I think was he has a new wallet now. Fuck. Anyway, it was called Rush Wallet and it was in your browser. And you just like go to the webpage, it automatically generates a private key, public key for you, and then you can just send Bitcoin to it, spend from it. But it turned out that you could just brute force the URL and just all the wallets all got drained. So that one was pretty bad. Like you could just like the URL was like random numbers and letters, but they weren't that random. So, some smart kid figured it out and just drained every
Now
wallet.
we see why a lot of these rules exist for us fresher faces on the scene.
Dude, it was brutal back then. I mean, every custodial wallet was getting, people, exchange after exchange got hacked. Like everyone knows about Mt. Gox, but there was like a bunch of little ones. Exit scams left and right. So custodial period was just an absolute minefield.
Was the one with the browser that you said the one that it generated the key like with random movements of the mouse?
Yeah, there was a paper wallet creator.
Yeah.
Where you'd go to the website, bitaddress.org. I think it still exists. I don't know if it's malicious or not now, so don't like use this as don't put any money on that. But you go to like bitaddress.org and you shake your mouse around and it like adds randomness, and then you print out the sheet of paper and you just load it up. But like that, obviously, like if you were doing it from an internet connected computer, you opened up yourself. A lot of the attacks were like log me in based attacks, like log me in where you can like sign in to your computer from far away. People would just have like log me in on their computer or TeamViewer on their computer. And people would just hack that account, come in and just take your private keys. Until Dispatch, we mentioned blockchain.info was using the randomness from random.org. And then random.org went down. So it was just 404 erroring. And all of those wallets got fucked. Yeah, it was a minefield.
Brutal.
And like I remember like the first time I made a cold storage wallet, I used that bit address thing. Like fucking, I had no idea what I was doing. I like used that bit address thing, and then I used it on a dedicated like I had an old computer, I installed Linux on it, went to bit address, I saved the page offline, Then I pulled out the internet of the computer. Then I made my wallet because you could make it offline once you like download the web page. Then I printed it. Then I destroyed both the computer and the fucking printer. Like that was like the guide at the time. And then I had this piece of paper with my fucking coin on it. It was different days.
So there's been a lot of development since then. What's got you most bullish development wise right now? What are you seeing that you're like, holy shit, I never saw that coming?
Strike in Europe.
Shut up!
I didn't see that one coming.
It's still not coming.
Never coming.
Like Sean.
Yeah, when Europe, Greg? When Europe?
Thursday.
Never.
Next Thursday.
You know, I mean, obviously, like the privacy stuff is what I'm most focused on. The state chain wallet Mercury is pretty cool.
That's not what I asked you.
What?
I see what's got you most excited for the future. What are you bullish about? Not what you're working on. I'm working on this wallet. This fucking Mercury.
No, but I'm not like working on it. That's someone else's wallet. I'm excited about his wallet.
Okay, fair enough.
Pay attention, Greg.
Fuck
Pay
you,
attention.
Greg.
I'm excited about there's this new proposal for like a custodial, like a semi-custodial Lightning wallet that has very good privacy. And like you have a federation, you have like 15 or 16 custodians, and they basically hold it in a multi-sig. So if you have like 12, I got to be careful what I do with my hands on the show. If you have like 12 custodians out of 15 would have to conspire to take your money, but you have perfect privacy from the custodians, and you can pay out to any Lightning wallet, receive from any Lightning wallet. That's pretty cool. I think he's calling it Fediment. But yeah, it's charming eCash in a Lightning wallet, and it'd be super easy to use on mobile. It'd be cheaper than other transactions just because it's Lightning and it's custodial, so you're not like opening channels and shit.
I didn't get that. It's a Lightning wallet?
Yeah, it's a Lightning wallet, but instead of being like Wallet of Satoshi right now is a custodial Lightning wallet, right? It's really easy to use, but you're trusting Wallet of Satoshi with your privacy and your funds and your coin because they can just steal it at any time. But with this model, not only do you get perfect privacy from the custodian, but instead of a single custodian, you have, 13 of 15 need to come together to spend it. It's like a multi-sig custodian instead of a single custodian. So you have reduced risk in the custodian in terms of them stealing your money, but also you get nearly perfect privacy from, like, the privacies depend on how many people are using the wallet. The more people are using it, the better privacy you get. But you get privacy from the custodians. I'm just looking at Greg and laughing.
Greg's an idiot. If you want, I can turn off his screen.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. You were talking about it, and I was assuming it was on chain, so that's awesome.
Yeah, what I like about it is, so you can send or receive from any Lightning, like any other Lightning wallet can send or receive directly into it. So presumably you could do Strike directly into there, and then you'd have very good privacy guarantees without doing like any real heavy lifting. Like there's the UX would be very good. Yeah, unless you're in Europe.
Somebody's saying in the chat that that's like Moon Wallet, but what you're describing is that the difference is that there's multiple custodians instead of one.
Well, yeah, I mean, Moon Wallet's not custodial. There's some trust that you have to give Moon Wallet, but it's definitely not private at all. The UX of Moon is great. But yeah, this would have like easy UX, be cheap to use, would be very private, and your only trade-off would be if a bunch of them came together, they could take your money.
Speaking of cheap to use, how long do you think we're going to be able to do 1 sat per byte transactions?
I don't know. I was completely fucking wrong about that one. I will take blame for being way wrong on that one.
You were wrong. You're just early. So what's the
No, I mean, I was having major fee FOMO. Like, if you look back at my transactions, like I was paying way too high fees. Like I'm scarred. I don't know how long it'll go. I think it should go up. but now I'm just scarred. So I expect it to go. The prices of fees should go up eventually. Is my scientific answer.
What's your
What's the
theory?
reason for that? Is it because of lightning, or is it because people?
It's
are
not
just
because of
putting their stuff
lightning.
on exchanges, or
Yeah, maybe it's partially because of lightning, and partially because of SegWit. Because like blockchain.info, no one should use blockchain.info. Blockchain.info added SegWit, and between their wallet and their API, like other wallets will use their backend. They account for a shit ton of transactions. So they added SegWit, and then you also have increased lightning. But mostly it's because most people that are using Bitcoin just like buy Bitcoin and hold it on a custodial exchange. They never hit the chain. And if they do hit the chain, they like send it to their hardware wallet and they just leave it there. And they don't send it again. So like not that many people are actually using the Bitcoin chain.
Prediction time. 100K when?
I knew this was going to be a tough crowd.
Before Bitcoin 2021.
Yeah, before. Yeah, well, we already missed that one.
for the 100K party?
The 200K by conference day thing started as a meme, and then I believed it. Like I started to believe it, just to put that one out there. Like that was, I think there was a bunch of us that actually believed it for a little bit there.
Don't stop believing.
Don't stop. I love those spaces, by the way. Best spaces in the business.
Thanks.
100K, I think, comfortably by the end of the year, but we'll see. If not, I'll be fine.
You'd be all right.
Here's the big question. So most people don't know this, but we are having a 2024 halving party with the Meme Factory.
Look how he smiles. Look how happy he is. Like, what the fuck happened?
Everyone's hating on this party. It's gonna be amazing. We already have Preston's coming, Preston Pish. You're coming, Matt. Denver's coming.
I'm down. I'll be there.
2024.
Preston
I know you
and
got the
Preston
Bitcoin
Pish?
Conference.
Yeah.
What?
Both
You said Preston
at the same
and
time.
Preston Pish?
Yeah, Preston and Preston Pish. Both the Prestons.
Hell yeah, dude.
Okay, for whoever doesn't understand, this is our group chat. Like when somebody is extremely happy for a reason, we jump on him like this.
Sean, what price do you think will be at 2024 halving?
2024 halving. Ooh, there's gonna be a little bit of dip, like there always is in the halving. So
Bear.
Fucking
Sell
bear.
those.
Fucking grow your hair back.
Well, there'll definitely be like people will be scared of death spirals when we're about to hit that halving. They're going to be like, oh, the Bitcoin network's not going to just die because of the halving.
Yeah, we just dipped below 100K or whatever.
But then you also have the other side where like we're all like, oh, Bitcoin's about to pump because the supply is about to have, right? So like kind of counteracts. We didn't really dump that much.
I
this
always feel
halving.
like we're about to pump. It's
and you
always
just have
Bitcoin
no
disappear.
idea, and you have no idea who's gonna be getting into Bitcoin between now and then too, right?
2024 halving over under 500K.
Over for sure.
over.
Yeah, my
I'm a
theory
bull.
for this
I'm
cycle.
a perma
I think that's a good line though,
That is a good line.
because we could dump below it.
Right. You can absolutely
You know
dump
what?
below it.
You know what won't happen before 2024 halving?
Don't
Strike
you fucking
Europe.
say it.
God damn it. We're
I'm not
never gonna get this.
I'm not
for a
coming
real
to your party,
sponsor.
Sean. I'm not coming to your party.
The Meme Factory
Fuck
party.
your
It's
party.
all of us. We're all inviting everyone, so we're all gonna be there.
I like how Sean's planning it. He's promoting it and everything, but it's our party. Let's go.
Yes.
Yes.
You know what? Like now that I think of it, like the Meme Factory EU is gonna do its own party. So whoever wants to join the EU,
And they
part
still
of the
won't
Meme
have
Fac-
strike when they do that.
Yeah, that's the better question. 2024 strike EU.
No,
That's a
not a
tough one.
chance. Not a
We're
That's a
getting
tough one.
fired. We're getting fired.
Yeah.
I've been
The
saying
party could be in Nashville.
I've been saying soon for like 7 months now.
Greg knows it too.
We could do the party in Nashville because I know some Bitcoiners out there in the world are trying to make that the maxi capital of the United States, at least. Austin, they have plenty of shitcoiners from what I hear. Nashville, maxi capital. Let's go.
Ooh, I wouldn't mind going down to Nashville. I need to listen to a little music.
Nashville's a good city,
It's a good time.
but everyone should move to Austin.
Is Nashville where
Florida.
Chappelle lives?
Where
What was that?
What?
David Chappelle lives in Nashville, right?
Dave Chappelle?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I thought he said in his skits and stuff, he's like way up north in a very small town,
Called Nashville.
like Ohio or something. Not Nashville,
Miami, Ohio.
Miami, Ohio.
Can I? So I mean, Chairport said the word maxi.
I hate that.
I know, like, as a community, we tried to just like own the maximalist term, and then maxi happened, and we decided we were going to own maxi as well. But like, I don't really like it.
No. It's a
It's demeaning.
maxi pad.
So what word would you Bitcoiner? That's the word.
Yeah, Bitcoiner, and the ones that aren't Bitcoiners are shitcoiners. Like, we shouldn't delineate. There shouldn't be like Bitcoiners and maximalists, like a separate category.
Yeah, we need a group of others to hate that are not Bitcoiners.
I bet I own more
Exactly.
Bitcoin than you, bro.
I bet you do. I lost all mine in a tragic Yeti cold accident.
Cell accident.
I made
Jericho.
500. I made 500K on Solana this week.
Make CDs great again.
Jesus.
Matt, I'm always curious about like I'm not like super deep in like the samurai chat or things like that, but I like really like all of the privacy stuff that they're doing. What I never understand is like there's this I don't want to call it like a hatred, but there's like a push against the hodl meme and number go up meme, and I don't get it. Like, I get all the other stuff and I really like it. I don't know if maybe I bet you probably know a little bit more about this than I do.
Most of my favorite people are assholes online. Okay, it's just the internet is not. The internet's not really designed for peace. It's like
Twitter
a constant
isn't, for
wartime.
sure.
I mean, you guys know better than most. I think. I don't speak for them too much, but there's definitely people in the community that believe that Bitcoin is like a fantastic savings technology and spending technology. Like, you need both. But I think that, Twitter really prioritizes like engagement wise. You get better engagement if it's like Bitcoin as an investment, and you like make it as easy as possible. You take away all personal responsibility. It's just like, you can just stack sats on this custodial KYC exchange, put in absolutely zero effort, just like set up your auto buy and just leave it there, and you're a fucking genius. HODL, and I think there's like, that's where they're coming from, is like there's pushback to just like that tweet will get like insane amount of engagement, get retweeted a bunch of times, and you'll see a million of those types of tweets on Twitter. But like, if a tweet's like, like maybe like we shouldn't have extensive lists of Bitcoiners, like maybe you should like care a little bit about your privacy. So like they're not tracking every single transaction you make. You get a fraction of that engagement because there's some personal responsibility there. Even if it's as simple as like hold your own keys, you get less engagement than, Bitcoin go up. So I think it's like a reaction. It's a reaction to that aspect. But I mean, I know me personally, I mean, I think that good money should accrue in value over time, and you should be able to spend it at will with no permission. Like, I think you need both aspects of it. But I will say, like, especially in a bull market, like, there's just so much noise on Twitter. Like, if you get triggered easily, like I have very tough skin, but like if you get triggered easily, you just like scroll, just trigger. So
Yeah, bear market Twitter, best Twitter.
it's so much better.
Yeah.
The bear markets are so much better.
True.
You don't agree, Greg?
No, I was agreeing. I love
Ah.
that's where I was made. I made in the bear market Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, Bane.
I didn't know the pump till I was a man. What the fuck was that?
So basically, you're saying, Matt, that you're really feeling Bitcoin mining stocks. That's kind of your go-to, huh?
No one should buy Bitcoin mining stocks. I fucking hate all the large, like regulated miners. I mean, I fucking hate. That's a little bit mean, probably. Like, there's people behind those stocks, but I think they're like a little bit of an attack on Bitcoin, and they don't even realize they're an attack on Bitcoin. Because as they get bigger, they're a massive regulatory target. They have these huge warehouses. They're literally reporting every transaction they make, and they're like super easy to pressure. So I would never support any of them. Yeah, I mean, I think the best investment of our lifetimes is and will continue to be Bitcoin. Like it's very simple. Like my thesis is very simple. And it took me like 3 years, but I just distilled it into stay humble, stack sats. Like now I don't really have to say anything else. Like is there, like I got it into 4 words, boom, done. I had like this tweet, in like September 2020, we were like sitting at like $9,000 and it was like the Charlie Day meme where like he has like all the, and the quote that I had was like, all you have to do is stay humble and stack sats, you know, like that's how it feels sometimes, right? It's fucking crazy. But obviously there's some nuance to that. Like you should learn how to hold your own keys, use your own node, and like some privacy best practices, even just a little bit. Like don't overwhelm yourself. Just start to get aware of it, get used to it, protect yourself a little bit.
Do you follow your own advice or do you trade around a position?
Don't trade. I would be lying if I didn't say I did. I had my own issues when I first got into Bitcoin. And I overwhelmingly lost my money. Like that's why I got humbled. I wasn't born humble. I got humbled and I could still use some work, but I don't fuck trading. I fucking suck at it. I think most people suck at it. Obviously some people will succeed, a few, but the overwhelming majority will just get completely wrecked. And I've seen so many. That's the thing. I mean, a lot of you guys have been around for a decent amount now at this point. I mean, you went through this bear market. It's a game of survival. Like in a bull market, everyone thinks they're a fucking genius. They overextend themselves. God forbid you get into like illiquid shit coins and stuff. Like the NFTs are going to be even worse because they're like they're literally one of one, like the most illiquid thing. And like when that thing turns, like it's just going to be like most people die. And like there'll be a couple that are just like, you know, in their Bitcoin Zen mode, and they'll just get through, and there'll be a couple traders that make like life-changing, like insane short-term gains and benefit out of it. But
most of those traders have access to information that they've paid for, or their hedge funds or something.
But like the hedge funds is a different story because the hedge funds just get like these massive pre-mines and pre-allocations, and then they literally just no work.
Right.
They just get them for super cheap. They pump them up and then they dump them.
Yeah, Chamath said he never pays for any. Every
I saw that
buys is on discount, right?
That's a horrible podcast, by the way. Like I wanted to like it, but I just couldn't get into it.
No, yeah. Well, and what traders don't realize too is all it takes is one wrong trade where you get rug pulled and you lose everything.
Yeah.
You can be winning for a year and then you make one wrong trade and then that's it.
I also like sports gambling though, and like I overwhelmingly lose at that as well.
He's not humble on the sports betting.
I am. I do it in small amounts, but I just I'm not good.
It's really good you found Bitcoin then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of ODELL memes, and Labra still practices it to this day. Let's hear the backstory to AllCaps ODELL.
Yes.
Yeah, those news accounts were really fucking pissing me off. You know, the
where they would just
AllCaps,
blast everything.
like Delta One or whatever, Walter Bloomberg. They just like, they'll just send out whatever they want to fucking send in all caps. And it's just, everyone's just like, oh, there's no source. I'm fine with that. Like retweet. So I like, it started out both 200K by conference day and all caps, because Caps ODELL came at a little bit before 200K by conference day, and 200K by conference day was like the evolution. It's like Caps ODELL was evolving. It was like kind of like a commentary on like the state of the space, and just like you can just say anything you want in all caps as long as it's really bullish, and everyone just gets riled up and ready to fucking go. And I was drinking a lot at the time. So it was like extra fun. Like I'd be like drinking with peeps on like a Friday night or something, just shoot out in all caps. I think I did 200K by conference day at like, the last time I tweeted out 200K by conference day was like 4 days to the conference. The price was like 32K. And I did it in all caps, and I got like 1,200 likes and 200 retweets. This is the fucking dumbest tweet ever. Like, there's no chance that we're gonna hit 200K by conference day. But I grew to love it. It's just so much fun tweeting out and all. I mean, I did it for a while too. That one guy, my dude, Brian Lockhart, like he lasted way longer than me.
Yeah,
he lived in the caps Lockhart for a while. So respect to him.
Huddle Depot is still going strong. That dude will not let up.
Yeah, I mean, Caps ODELL will be back.
Let's go.
We need him.
What's the?
We don't need him yet.
What's the trigger for bringing in a Caps ODELL?
I'm gonna start to lose my humility, and Caps ODELL's gonna come out. That's what's gonna happen.
So you tell me the pump. The pump is what's gonna bring him back.
So I promised all of these guys that I would publicly shame them when you were on about not having ever CoinJoined. I think only Plan Marcus here is the other one besides myself. And Greg wrote, he literally wrote that he doesn't want to CoinJoin because he doesn't want his Bitcoin outside of his wallet. Nope.
I mean, that's fair. But you could try with a little bit, Greg.
No.
Just the tip.
No, nothing.
Just a tiny bit.
Fuck no.
Just for a second.
It's not CoinJoining if it's just the tip.
Just
CoinJoin.
Look, I think everyone should make their own decision. I think if you are going to use a regulated KYC exchange, so they know your ID information, they might have a selfie of you, they know your mailing address, they know your email, your phone, your IP address, your bank account information. They're saving all that you can basically just assume they're saving that forever. And they're also saving your withdrawal addresses. Now, that often gets leaked. It's getting shared with governments. It might not get shared or leaked today, but it could in 5 years, 6 years. So if you use one of those services, best practice is to at least use some CoinJoin so you get some benefits for forward privacy. So they have your withdrawal addresses. They know you bought at this time in the database, but you don't know necessarily what happened after that. Even if you fuck it up, like you're in a better place than if you hadn't even tried it. So that's how I look at it. If you're withdrawing via Lightning, there's a whole different like clusterfuck of minefields, but all else equal, like you're better off withdrawing in Lightning. So it is nice that Strike supports that. It's better not to like, if you're going to do the Lightning, which there's so many, I have a dispatch just on Lightning privacy. That's like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So your listeners can go look that up if they want. But like a big thing is like, don't keep sending it to your own node. If you send it to your own node and your channels they can be probed, then the UTXOs can happen. So you're actually better off in a lot of ways withdrawing to a custodial wallet. It's weird. But anyway, the privacy concern to me is if Bitcoin goes up 10x, 100x, who knows which governments, which malicious individuals are going to start to target Bitcoiners. And at that point, if you wait to try and figure out your privacy at that point, the attacker has additional information. They know the coins were sitting there until they went into CoinJoin, 4 days after the law was passed that they were going to take your Bitcoin. They'll see that rather than 4 years before that happened. So, I mean, in general, I think, if you can avoid a KYC service and you're not using a KYC service, then maybe you don't necessarily need CoinJoin. You still probably should use it. Whoever you got the Bitcoin from knows shit. But most of us, the overwhelming majority of people are coming in through these KYC regulated exchanges. They're giving all this ID info. Binance got hacked and they lost a bunch of the information. Coinbase got hacked. They lost a bunch of the information. You don't know who's going to have it. They're going to be able to look at all
Ledger.
your past transactions.
Ledger. Labra
yeah.
has his hands up.
What up, Labra?
Yeah, I have a question about privacy, but I would like to share my screen to show you a video, and then I will ask you a question.
Let's rip it. Well, Greg, is it all right with you?
Absolutely.
Does he have rights to shit?
You
Greg
sure?
was so happy I
I
asked his
think I do.
permission.
Oh, there it is.
Excellent.
Oh,
Oh.
shit, I'm sorry. Oh,
Labra's
fuck.
looking at hot dogs.
God damn it.
Not the results you were hoping for.
All right.
You're supposed to say hot dogs in bikinis, bro. That'll give you
Damn
better
it.
results.
Yo,
Never
Labra, you
mind.
should consider uBlock instead of AdBlock Pro.
Oh,
Okay,
right.
thank you. Damn it.
I'm gonna write that down.
Jesus.
Sura de punta.
Okay, so
I heard that.
let me play like 15 seconds, and then I will ask you a question about privacy. Okay, here come my question. Do you think his private parts were compromised?
Yeah, probably. You should have used CoinJoin.
It looked like a coin
For
join
anybody
to
who's-
me.
Coin join.
It's like a groin joint.
Join.
For anybody who just listened to the audio, it was a video of a man getting a very aggressive lap dance where a nice young lady plopped herself right on his.
That wasn't very
groin.
nice.
She used gravity to her effect for about 3 feet. Would you say?
And whoever is listening from Apple, it was something environmental friendly and very good.
My question is, how many sats does that cost? Because I'm down.
You're down for a groin join?
Whatever just happened on screen.
That's because you have a small penis, so it won't hurt.
That's true.
All right, thank you for your wisdom, Matt. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Always happy to help.
No, I
I
know.
will lower my
Another-
camera now.
Another
You were
question to
talking
bring
earlier-
up. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go
Marcus.
ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Go
I've
ahead.
already asked questions.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead, please.
I
please.
just,
We
I just
talked
want to
about
make
this
sure
before.
we don't
Please,
miss
guys,
RD's.
no.
But
You
everybody
go
talk
ahead.
at
No,
the
you
same
go
time.
ahead.
Please go
No,
ahead.
no, no.
Sean,
Sorry.
if you go,
You go ahead,
no,
please.
You go,
you
you
go
go,
ahead.
everybody can talk.
No, come on.
I'm just gonna cut all of that out of the podcast, guys.
Marcus, go.
Sorry, I lost my question.
Cheers to that.
Let's do the RD question.
Let me ask mine. Okay, go, Artie.
Okay, Matt. If the meme factory did exist, which we know it doesn't, who would you like? Who would you retweet? Who would you mute?
Wait, if the meme factory didn't exist,
If it did exist, everyone knows it doesn't exist.
who would I would like and retweet all of you motherfuckers.
No.
Let's fucking go.
But who do you mute?
Yeah, who do you mute?
I literally have nobody muted on Twitter or blocked.
Really?
Boom.
Not a single person. I definitely wouldn't fucking mute or block either any of you motherfuckers.
Love you, Matt.
Try more.
Mute Greg.
Best
My
answer
question-
on that one.
And honestly, like it's not effective for most of you because you keep getting kicked off of Twitter and coming back with new accounts.
Let's fucking go.
We're on
Thank
Labra
you.
10. Labra 10's lasted a while.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I need to do
You
something.
haven't called
Lucky
Steve
number
Hinkie yet.
10. You lost your edge.
Mm.
There will only ever be 21 Labra huddles.
Was that the?
Yeah,
was that the
that's
bar?
true.
No more beers to slay.
Yeah, so Matt, I was curious to bring up the old days one more time. During the Fork Wars, what were you doing? I don't know enough of your history to know if you already had a podcast.
I
if you were
didn't.
Just on, if you were on Reddit, if you had a Twitter voice, what were you
I was a
doing?
NIM troll. I had like a bunch of socks. And I don't know. I mean, to me, like Bitcoin Cash and Segwit 2X never really I was operating under the assumption from almost the very beginning that neither of them were going to succeed. So I was just like stacking like a crazy person and like screaming off the top of my lungs that it wasn't going to happen. Said a lot of mean things on Twitter.
That's the way.
That's the way. And like there were a lot of people that thought Bitcoin Cash was going to win. There were a lot of people that thought Segwit 2x was going to be a thing, even like up to like a month ahead of time. I think like Selkis like sent out a tweet where like he thought there was less risk investing in ETH than Bitcoin because Bitcoin had Segwit 2x was going to happen and it was definitely going to happen. It was weird times, but there was a lot of it was really enjoyable to me because I really like the game theory aspects of Bitcoin. So actually I like took away something completely different than most people do, which is Bitcoin Cash forked. They believe something different. Bitcoin Cash forked. Anyone who had Bitcoin got Bitcoin Cash. If they didn't want to do anything, they had one of each. And the project, like the market completely destroyed them. Like they've just been trending to zero ever since. They had like that one pump on Coinbase when Coinbase like added it at like Tuesday at like 10:30 p.m. and the market was illiquid and everyone fucking freaked the fuck out and had that one big pump. And then besides that, it's just been straight down. And to me, that is really cool aspect of Bitcoin is that they were using the same mining algorithm. So miners can choose which side they want to be on. And every owner had both. So it was like a proper digital war. And at the end of the day, Bitcoin holders greatly benefited from it to me. So I think like, yeah, I mean, I think the whole game theory aspect was really cool. In the beginning, they had Bitcoin Cash had like this different difficulty. So they were using the same hashing algorithm, but they had a different difficulty adjustment. So it was adjusting way quicker. And it was like kind of parasitic on the Bitcoin chain. So it was like making it like made it more profitable to mine Bcash in the beginning. Because they changed the difficulty adjustment. It also made it like wildly insecure. But that was interesting to me. Like the whole game theory, will miners switch which side of it? And like Jihan the whole time from Bitmain, who was the largest manufacturer of ASICs, like WhatsMiner is like the two top ones now are Bitmain and WhatsMiner. The guy who was like one of the top dogs at Bitmain left. They made with WhatsMiner after that. So like Bitmain was like the top dog in town. They were also one of the biggest miners themselves, not only the manufacturer. And Jihan never had the balls to switch his hash over. Like he could have switched his hash over. He never did it. He never moved over all his hash. He kept mining Bitcoin and put like the bare minimum on Bcash. Yeah, and you know, they never had a fucking shot. So it's a really cool game theory play out. I like that shit.
The whole aspect of Bcash became what it is because he had that boost for his miners, right? He could mine
right. He had ASIC boost.
Yeah.
So like he would sell you miners, and like when he mined with them, he had a 30% advantage than you when you mined with them. Yeah. And Segwit broke that.
Bro, fucked it up, yeah.
So he had an incentive to make Bcash happen. But like, I mean, because I haven't had enough drama, like the controversial statement I'd make on your show, besides that ad read, is that I think, you know, in like a critical mass type of situation, if there was absolutely something that Bitcoin needed, there would be a fork because anyone can make a fork and you'd get two of each. And that one with the improvement on it will be the one that succeeds. And to me, that makes me super fucking bullish. Like I'm like, I know that I have my stake in a ledger that will last forever. And do I expect, you know, that kind of fork, like a hard fork, to actually be successful? No, in most situations, no. But in like an absolute dire emergency situation where we're completely owned or something, like I have no doubt in my mind that there'll be a fork run by actually competent developers rather than what we had with Bcash, and it could be successful. And that gives me my Bitcoin Zen. Like I'm just never, I'm not concerned of, you know, some of these like theoretical problems that people say might happen in 75 years or 50 years or whatever. Like when it happens, like we'll fork if we have to, and the market will fucking figure it out.
And the babies will keep on dying.
And the babies will keep on dying. Fuck Roger.
Fuck Roger.
Before fuck Greg, fuck Roger was
Absolutely
the main fuck.
What's interesting now, we have so much hash power that if there was a fork, if someone goes off with only like 5% of the hash power to mine enough blocks to get that fork going, to get to the next difficulty adjustments and stuff, it would take an eternity. I mean, maybe not eternity at 5%, but if we're talking less than 1%, yeah. So a fork to succeed, you need a good amount of the miners to agree with you.
But you can manually change the difficulty if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You would have issues with whether or not people would find it credible. I need to be very clear here, and it doesn't really matter that I'm being clear because people will just take it out of context regardless and get triggered over it. That like this is like the chance of like a fork chain being the dominant chain is almost zero. But there's like a couple situations where if there was a catastrophic need, an overwhelming demand, like you would need, and it's impossible to measure, but you need like 95% buy-in or something of like all stakeholders on the network. And you can't really measure it until you fork. You just kind of fork and see if it works. But it was kind of weird to me that like we didn't really see that many attacks. Like I expected Bitcoin miners to attack Bcash, like Bcash even to this day, and BSV even more so. Like it's such a negligible, tiny little bit of hash rate. Like it'd be so easy to fuck with them.
Didn't
surprise more
do
like
that to BSV recently?
They did get reorged, but it took a while. Like I was like, you know, they were already kind of irrelevant at that. They were already irrelevant at that point. Not even kinda. They were completely irrelevant at that point. Though, like the altcoins don't get attacked much. They don't really have much hash, especially the GPU mined ones. I mean,
except Ethereum Classic, maybe.
Yeah, Ethereum Classic got fucked up.
Yeah.
But like that's because like
multiple times.
Yeah, that's because like the Ethereum stakeholders are fucking ruthless. And they fucking did it. Mm-hmm. But I was surprised that we don't see more attacks, to be honest. Like I feel like a lot of times we just theorize about all these attacks and then they just never happen.
That's the only fork that became the main one, let's say. Because Ethereum is a fork. Anyway.
I wouldn't say that's like a good example though, but yeah. Like for what I am saying about Bitcoin, like because that was like, it was a very top-down thing, right? It was, you know, the Ethereum Foundation and a few people like kind of just dictated it.
True. Not the free market.
Yeah.
Matt, I want to be respectful of your time. We're coming towards the end of the show. Do you have any questions for any of the factory members?
So Greg, you've never used CoinJoin, right?
Not yet.
Yellow, you've never used CoinJoin?
Maybe.
I like that answer. I'd be curious. Sean, have you haven't used CoinJoin?
No, I haven't yet.
So why haven't you used it?
If you think Greg's a potato when it comes to computers, I'm a bigger potato.
So you're intimidated by the process.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's fair. I think it'll get easier.
Pedro has been willing to help out though, so that's actually really good.
For me, I tell you the one thing that'll make it, I would do it if somebody lied to me with the apps. All right, if the application told me that my coins were still in the wallet while they were coin joining.
What do you mean they're still in the wallet while they're coin joining? What do you mean by that?
What do you mean? Don't they go elsewhere to coin join, correct?
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Here's what I'm gonna do, Matt. I'm going to, like, at some point, maybe Sunday or after this show ends, I'm gonna put Sparrow Wallet live up and I'll show them the 4 wallets that get built when you start a coin join. I'm gonna do all that stuff with these guys, so I'm on it.
But Greg, it doesn't leave your wallet. Like if
there are no coins. There are no coins.
There's just UTXOs, but the it doesn't leave your wallet. That's the whole point. Like there's custodial mixers where you send them Bitcoin and then they send you someone else's Bitcoin.
Right.
That's not what CoinJoin is. CoinJoin is a collaborative transaction. So like you're connected on the internet to all these different people.
Back up.
And you each go like round robin and you sign the transaction and then you send it back to yourself. So like you never give up custody.
I could do that. Pedro, why didn't you tell me that's how it worked?
Pedro,
fuck you, Greg. You won't even listen to the fucking chat when I'm talking.
Because you said that, and then Pedro made fun of you, and you still didn't realize it.
And then everybody just kept typing in the chat. Scrolled up. Fuck off. I said it.
That is true.
I remember the first days where, like, older days that there was those exchange sites, betting exchange sites that you could bet like in sports and shit. And we would send like Bitcoins. We would leave it for a day and then basically withdraw the same Bitcoins, other Bitcoins. That was like a nice way to.
From like the no KYC gambling sites, right?
Yeah.
They were custodial mixers basically. The problem is like all of them are becoming KYC now. I mean, there's some that aren't. But yeah, I mean, I had someone try to tell me that like Coinbase was a great mixer. I was like, yeah, you're just like, except you're completely trusting like a surveillance company that sells surveillance tools to the government. Yellow, how long have you been doing the Don't Stop Believing spaces for?
For 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah, something like that.
Since the 7th, I think.
I think I've been to 3 so far. Is it at the same time every day?
Yeah.
How long do you think you're going to be doing them for?
I don't know, man. That's why I asked when 100K.
Like I would be. It's kind of nice because if we don't pump as quickly as I expect to, then you're gonna have to do that for a long fucking time, and that'd just be hilarious. Like I'm looking forward to like day 172. Don't stop believing.
Thank God it's not based on Strike Europe.
I will do it. I have committed.
All right, Matt, anything you want to leave the audience with before we go, or did Chairforce have an actual question that I just cut him off on?
No, I just got a fun non-Bitcoin related question from Satiyoshi. He wants to know what Matt's top 3 whiskeys are before we head out.
Macallan 12 is like my baseline. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I just finished this bottle of Glenmorangie 18, which is pretty good. I like Oban a lot because I can pronounce it and it tastes good. Those are all scotches. I like Mezcal a lot too. Like sipping on Mezcal is really good. I think Mezcal is underrated. Do not know the name of my favorite bottle off the top of my head. This bottle is pretty good, but like it's fucking impossible to pronounce. Greg, you want to pronounce that for us?
It's a glare on it. I can't. Oh wait. Yep. Toshin.
Gesundheit.
Toshin.
God bless you.
Toshin, I think. But I don't know. It's hard to pronounce. The scotches are hard to pronounce. I like Bullet Bourbon. It's like just a solid one. Buffalo Trace is pretty good if you're feeling in the bear market, you're feeling a little bit cheap.
Stack them up.
Right, I have one last question. If you look at El Salvador in 15 years, what's different?
Oof.
It's a big one.
Well, it's either going to be a miracle or a disaster, huh? Let's go with optimist because people like optimists. It's going to be no one's going to go back in 15 years and be like, oh, Matt was such a dick. He was too optimistic.
You can be critical.
I mean, it really comes down to Bukele. Like Bukele is going to make or break that country. He seems to have a lot of control in the country. He single-handedly brought Bitcoin in. The individuals. What?
single-handedly rug pull.
Yeah, I mean, he probably controls the keys to the nation's Bitcoin, I assume. But at least the individuals have access to it. So they're all going to be ideally helped. They have access to a global financial system now for the first time ever, which is insanely powerful. And they're able to, like, one of the biggest issues with going, full Bitcoin is being able to spend that Bitcoin on goods and services and stuff that you need. But like, if you're running a business in El Salvador, like, all the other merchants have to accept your Bitcoin. So like they're able to be in a fully Bitcoin economy. That's like the biggest issue we always have. Like, you talk, like Gladstein talks about, like, getting Bitcoin into activists in Belarus, right? So like, you get them the Bitcoin, but then, like, how do they use the Bitcoin once they have it in there? They need to either be able to convert it into whatever local fiat there is there, or they need to be able to spend it. In El Salvador, every single person in El Salvador has the ability to spend it at every single place. So that's extremely empowering for the individuals. So yeah, I mean, basically what I'm saying is there's going to be a golden city built in the mountains in El Salvador, and they're all going to live super prosperous lives, obviously.
Lambos everywhere.
No Lambos, just the golden
Kelly
things.
have a golden toilet.
Yeah, because gold is also going to dump at the same time, so they'll be able to get gold for very little sats.
Yeah.
Their ASICs will be made out of gold.
Exactly. They're gold ASICs mining on the volcano.
1 sat per gold ounce.
Does anyone here believe that we'll be able to pay 1 sat per byte at the 2024 halving and get it confirmed within 2 months?
Oh yeah.
Ask Labra. I want to know what Labra thinks.
Yeah, I think
He's a little busy right now.
Yep. But yeah, I think so.
Do you think we'll still be able to pay 1 sat per byte at that point?
Yep.
So do you guys never think we're gonna have like a sustained fee market where like we just don't hit 1 sat per byte for years?
I think that, but like the problem is that 3 Bitcoins is still a lot of money. Like you're saying, like the next halving, that's what somebody's going to get from a block, right? And no,
I'm not worried about transaction fees not being enough. I'm just saying, like, you don't think there's going to be so many people trying to use Bitcoin that we won't hit 1 sat per byte for years? Like, there'll be a period, like maybe like, there'll be like a storm in the eastern coast of the United States at the same time as like an earthquake in Asia, and the fee pressure drops for a little bit and you can get like a 1 sat per byte in. But like, I think there could be like periods where for like 4 years, 5 years, like 1 sat per byte doesn't clear. Maybe it goes down, like you hit like 16 sats per byte and it clears, but like the full mempool never clears.
I don't think so.
So you're bearish.
No, I just think that
Bullish on Lightning?
I think that a lot of the transactions that happen with Bitcoin are going to happen on layer 2.
But every Lightning channel has 2 on-chain transactions.
Right, and then nothing.
At the bare minimum, it has 2 on-chain transactions.
Right, and then
I don't know.
nothing.
Matt's about to close 300 channels. That's like 2 transactions. That's going to be a lot.
Dude, I lost so much. You want to talk about, like, I lost so much money on fucking around with Lightning.
I heard you on my commute. I was in my car and I cringed when you said you had 300 channels open. You're going to like.
Well, I only have to close them if I want to take advantage of Taproot. I could just leave them up. I'm going to leave them open. Since you guys think 1 sat per byte can clear, then I don't have to close them now. I can just close them whenever the fuck I want. It doesn't matter.
There you go.
So when I spend all that money on fees in the future because I can't get 1 sat per byte cleared, I'm going to remember who to call.
That's right.
That's not my
You
real
think
face
most people
on
are
this.
going to be using, most people are going to use Bitcoin on a layer 2, most likely Lightning. Most people will never even do an on-chain transaction in their lives.
Right, but every Lightning channel is based in an on-chain transaction.
Yeah, but not every time that a transaction goes through
Correct.
Lightning channel. It's just when you set it up.
Okay,
Yeah, but
Sean,
so,
I'll
like-
still be doing online transaction.
But there's
On-chain.
8 billion people in the world.
Since when?
So That's how many people there are, right?
Bullshit.
I'm
There's
working
8
on
billion
it.
people in the world. This is the best show. There's
like
8
30
billion
million.
people in the
There's
world.
like 30 million tops.
If a quarter of them decided to onboard just with Lightning, that's 2 billion people, that 2 billion transactions just to open a single channel. And that's just like, oh, they opened one channel.
Look, this is a scientific show. You can't just come on here making up numbers and shit to fit your argument, right? This is complete bullshit.
I'm gonna check my
Someone hit me
note
with a
on
fact checker.
Yeah,
He said 8 billion people. I'm gonna check my note on this.
yeah.
one.
Check your note. There's only like 10,000.
Run the
people.
numbers.
There's only like 10,000 people on Bitcoin.
I don't think there's like, how many people do you think use Bitcoin right now?
17,
How many people do you think hold their own keys in Bitcoin right now?
43.
Hold
Anyone?
hold their keys. Like 30,000. I don't know.
30? No, way more than that.
But as more people use Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin goes up in fiat terms. So then
How many are the nodes?
less sats
Sorry,
are
how many
being
the
spent,
nodes?
right?
How many nodes do we have?
I've got one.
I think we have 12,000 nodes or 15,000 nodes that are like publicly viewable. And then Luke's numbers are like 100,000 nodes or something
100,000.
because he
Really?
knows the non-discoverable.
100,000.
Sean, what did you say? What was
I was saying that as more people adopt Bitcoin, in fiat terms, Bitcoin goes up in price.
Right.
So then the amount of sats that are being spent are way less. Like
one sat per byte will be like a meal.
Exactly.
in
So
10
exactly,
years
it's like
or
a 1 sat per byte could be like a lot of money, but it'll
Hot
still
dog.
be 1 sat, right?
No.
Per byte.
I just think like, I mean, look, do you think there's going to be a fucking block size increase on Bitcoin? Like there's no fucking shot. Like
No.
we've dug our heels on that one. I think we can pretty much, cut that out. So at the end of the day, so what do we have going for us? We have we need efficiency gains. So it's adoption versus efficiency. And there's going to be periods where adoption is going to be higher than our efficiency gains, and we're going to see upward fee pressure. That is my expectation. If it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. Like I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, like fees are too low. Like we're fucked. We need to have infinite Bitcoin. Like that's stupid. But I'm thinking as someone who if you're like Greg or anyone here, basically seems, and you're like, oh, I'm just going to wait to do CoinJoin. Like CoinJoin requires transactions. You got to do a bunch of transactions. The more CoinJoins you do, the better privacy you have because they multiply. Not a mathematician, but that's what happens. You do one CoinJoin, you do another CoinJoin. And those require transaction fees. So if you're doing them at 1 sat per byte versus 127 sats per byte in the middle of like chaotic moment where 4 different governments are trying to seize your money, then you're going to pay way lower fees. And you want to do it over time. You want to do it slowly, get comfortable with it. Like it's not like a necessarily straightforward thing. It's getting easier, but it's not the most straightforward thing. So it's going to cost you a lot of money learning if you have to pay higher transaction fees. If you're learning on Lightning and transaction fees are 1 sat per byte, it's super cheap to learn. You can open a channel for 1 sat per byte, fuck around with it. Oh shit, I made it too small. Close the channel, open a new one. Oh, this node, I just doxed it to strike. Now I'm going to get rid of the node, close that channel, open a new channel. Like you can experiment and get used to it. If we're in a sustained high fee environment, you could do it still, but it's going to be way more expensive for you, especially if Bitcoin's pumped in price. Then,
Yeah, Greg.
Yep. Yellow. I'll send you back to Ohio. All right. I don't want to hear it.
But don't you think don't you think that, on going back to what we were talking about, don't you think most exchanges are just going to use Lightning anyway? Like most exchanges are going to get forced to use Lightning.
the hard part is our side, like
They're
the
already
receiver
using-
side.
They're already using Lightning between each other.
Like it's not necessarily a solved problem. If you're an average user and you're using Strike and you want to receive Lightning to your wallet, like which wallet do you choose to do that? And like there's some decent options, right? But like Moon has heavy on-chain fees that you pay if you use Moon. Wallet of Satoshi, you have massive custodial risk. You're trusting them with your privacy. You're trusting them with your funds. And to be honest, Wallet of Satoshi and Blue Wallets, custodial wallets, like every custodial wallet in the space, if they get popular enough, they add KYC. Like they have to. Like I saw with BottlePay, we had like the tip-in feature or whatever. And then they had too much. And like the UK financial regulator was like, you have to fucking have KYC on this product. And like in BottlePay's case, they closed down the whole service, returned everyone's funds, and then added KYC later. So it wasn't shotgun KYC. But for a lot of these custodians, they're going to just add KYC and force you to do it. You know, scan your face before you can withdraw your money. They're going to hold your money hostage. We saw Binance do that. We saw a bunch of different services do that in the past. So it's not a solved problem what the receiver is doing, to the point where Strike realized that. And they added the ability for you to just hold Bitcoin in Strike because they realized it was a massive hurdle for people to like figure out like which wallet I'm going to use, like how am I going to manage my fee burden, stuff like that. So like I don't necessarily know if like this will we potentially get to a point where people just live on Lightning and never touch the chain? Potentially. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happens, especially for people with less money. But it's not a solved problem, like how that looks, like how that situation resolves, because the whole trust model on Lightning revolves on chain transactions. Like the whole reason you can trust a Lightning transaction is because at any time, either person who has a channel can close it on chain, which is a transaction fee. So that kind of breaks down in situation. And like we were sold this idea, this is like a perfect example. We had this meme. Oh, I'm opening these channels for my great grandkids. And then I find out like 2 years later, a year later, they're like, oh no, but you got to close them if you want the Taproot benefits. You know, like how many more times are they going to do this to me? I know it's going to keep happening.
Wrecked.
It's going to fucking keep happening. Like there's these channels, you're not going to keep them up forever. That's not tenable. You want the improvements. You want whatever benefits you can get.
Good.
So like we're going to have high fees at some point. Or maybe I'm wrong. And that'd be great. As I use Bitcoin, so it'd be nice if it stays cheap.
Well, I think I definitely agree that we'll have high fees at some point. I just, I keep going back to the idea that 3 Bitcoins is a lot of money. So like anytime soon, I don't know. It might not be.
But why 3?
Because of the halving, right? Like what you're.
Oh yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah. Oh, so you're saying because of the subsidy, but I don't think that's the question. I think the question is the demand side, like how many people are trying to transact on chain.
I see.
It doesn't really matter what the subsidy is.
Yeah, I see.
To me, at this early, and to be frank, if you look at it in purchasing power or USD, like it just goes up. Like the subsidy might be having in Bitcoin terms, but in terms of purchasing power,
Right.
it keeps going up. So I'm not worried about that. The question is how many people are using Bitcoin on chain, and I imagine that's going to go up. And I think if that doesn't go up, it's not that Bitcoin's insecure. It's just that like, what are we doing wrong that more people aren't using Bitcoin? Like from an education point of view, from like building tools types of situations, like why aren't these tools easy enough to use that more people aren't using Bitcoin?
Do you think there will be a way to have privacy on a layer 2?
Yeah, I mean, I think Lightning is very promising in privacy. I think there's a lot of ways to shoot yourself in the foot currently, and it becomes a very complicated topic, and complicated topics fucking suck, especially from like an educational point of view. It's just a pain in the fucking ass, and there's plenty of ways you can fuck it up. But it's promising, and some of the things enabled by Taproot seem like they might help. I don't pretend to know for sure if that's the case. Like I'll wait till I can play with something that I can then check the chain and see what's going on. But yeah, I mean, I like I said earlier, the whole Chalmy and Mint idea. When Greg asked me like what I'm most excited about, like I'm really excited about this. Like the idea, I'm telling you, at the end of the day, like just imagine if you had like a mobile wallet and it had the easiest Lightning UX ever. You never had to deal with channels. It had very good privacy, and you needed 13 of 15 people to fuck you over and take your money. Like that seems like great trade-off balance for like a spending wallet, for going in between. You go from exchange to that, cold storage. Boom. Like, is it perfect? No, that seems like a great trade-off balance. I'm very excited about that.
All right.
Pay any Lightning wallet,
Nice.
receive from any Lightning wallet.
All right. Well, we are well past my bedtime, so I'm going to call it a hard cutoff.
I love you guys. This has been a fucking pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for
man.
coming on, man.
Really
Awesome.
appreciate
Thank
your
you,
time,
Matt.
Thank you.
Cheers, Matt.
Oh, nice.